G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aaron Whitnall. This is ACW Sport, and week 25 of the 2017-2018 Premier League season saw some of the Premier League's big boys get absolutely embarrassed. But there is only one place to start, and that is at the big game of this week between Tottenham and Manchester United at Wembley, where Tottenham destroyed Manchester United. This was, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the worst performances United have put in the Premier League, but equally at the same time, one of Spurs' best performances they've ever put in the Premier League. It all started in spectacular fashion when Christian Eriksen scored the third fastest goal in Premier League history after only 11 seconds. Big punt up pitch, Harry Kane kind of winning a duel in the air. Dele Alli tried to get a shot off that was blocked, and it fell perfectly for Eriksen, who put it past David De Gea, who was motionless and couldn't do a thing about it. United then tried to bounce back, and they looked okay to begin with, creating chances through the likes of Martial, Lukaku, Pogba and Lingard. But then Phil Jones put through his own net, and that is where everything fell apart for United. They did not look like they were getting back into the game after this, and it could have easily been 4 or 5 for Tottenham. Somehow it stayed at 2. And it was just such a shocking night, especially from a United perspective, because coming into the game, they had all the momentum. 5 wins in a row, 6 clean sheets in a row, and Alexis Sanchez was making his league debut. But full credit to Spurs. They were unbelievable. I've never seen them so dominant over a big side. They just seemed to bully the United midfield and defence. Kane, Ali, Eriksen and Dembele and Son were just incredible. Dembele bossing that midfield where Pogba and Matic were, who just didn't stand a chance in this game. But yeah, credit to Tottenham. This was a fantastic performance and gives them a really good chance of getting the top 4 this season, especially because of the other shocking and quite embarrassing result for yet another big team. Chelsea were humbled at home by Bournemouth, 3-0. Absolutely incredible scoreline, especially when you consider that this is Chelsea's joint highest defeat under Antonio Conte, and only the 7th time they have lost to a score like this at Stamford Bridge in Premier League history. But Bournemouth just tore Chelsea apart in the second half. After Christensen went off, Chelsea just did not look the same defensively. Callum Wilson was unbelievable in this game. And if he keeps on putting performances in like that, I want to know, do you think he has a slight chance of getting in that England team for the World Cup? Because we've seen him tear apart Arsenal and Chelsea in the last few weeks. And, with a goal and effectively 2 assists, because he was really involved in the other 2 goals for Bournemouth. You got a question, if he keeps putting in performances like this, would it be better to take to the World Cup than someone like Daniel Sturridge, for example? But, I mean, for Chelsea, this was a shocking night that I don't think anyone saw coming. And you do have to wonder if all these things that you hear about going on behind the scenes with Conte and the board and what he's been saying about transfers and how tired Chelsea are all the time and his constant complaining, is it starting to have a real effect on the players? You do have to worry about where things could end up come the end of the season for Chelsea, but they dropped to 4th in the Premier League. However, they aren't the only big team that were embarrassed, nor were United. And I know United lost to Spurs, and Spurs are also a big team, but it was an embarrassing performance, just like Chelsea's was an embarrassing performance in that second half. But another embarrassing performance goes to Arsenal. Not quite as surprising as the other 2, but they were humbled at Swansea 3-1 on Mkhitaryan's debut, and on the night that Mesut Ozil announced that he'd signed a new contract worth £350,000 a week, their highest ever paid player. But yeah, they went down 3-1 at Swansea. Absolutely shocking. Just your standard Arsenal performance against a team that's struggling really away from home. They started off well enough. Monreal with his 4th goal of the season. And not only has Monreal become one of Arsenal's better defenders, but in recent weeks he's been one of their best players overall. He's having a phenomenal season. However, that good start didn't last long because Arsenal then conceded only a minute later with some embarrassing defending. Klukas running through, slotting it under Cech, 1-1. And for a long time it looked like that is how the game was going to end up. But then Petr Cech produced an absolutely hilarious blunder. It was passed back to him. He went to kick it, kind of miskicked it with his left, basically missed the ball with his left leg. It hit his right leg, went straight to Jordan Ayew in front of him, who tapped in, gave Swansea a 2-1 lead. And then Klukas got all 3 points for Swansea, scoring his 2nd of the game. And yeah, again, it was just another night where everyone can laugh at Arsenal in quite embarrassing fashion. All right, Arsenal now do have something to cheer about. The fact they've brought in Aubameyang, and they'll kind of want to put that Swansea game to one side and just kind of say, right, our remainder of the season starts as of this weekend at home to Everton when Aubameyang starts, and Mkhitaryan will probably start, and so on and so forth. But as for Swansea, this is a massive, massive result for them. Since Carvajal took over, they've got 10 points in the 5 games he's been in charge. They're now off the bottom and only 1 point away from safety. It's an incredible turnaround, and just another reason why we all love football so much. But yeah, big win for them. As for the other two in the race for the title and also top 4, I say the race for the title, that's officially over again, because Manchester City, after United lost, Chelsea lost, well, Arsenal were never in it, but after those big two teams lost, they picked up a very easy home win against West Brom. It was just a standard City performance, blowing away West Brom. I think they had like 81% possession. West Brom were barely in the game. I don't really think they created any chances. However, you do have to wonder, or you do have to kind of understand why Pep is getting a bit frustrated with some of these tackles that are going in on his players. When you look at the likes of Sane getting injured against Cardiff, and then last night, you look at the fact that James McLean really tried to take out Kevin De Bruyne. All right, De Bruyne got him back because he scored moments later, but then also Phillips' tackle on Diaz as well was quite an awful tackle. I know people may look at the obviously David Silva challenge and also the Fernandinho one, but yeah, there seems to be more going in on City, so you can understand his frustrations there. But easy win for City. They're 15 points clear again. Title's over. City fans just enjoy the rest of the season. Liverpool, though, they also picked up a massive win, considering their embarrassing 2 defeats in the last 2 weeks to Swansea and West Brom, the bottom 2 teams in the league. All right, West Brom was in the FA Cup, but still embarrassing enough as it is, because that was your best chance at a trophy, really. But, massive, massive, massive win for Liverpool. 3-0 away at Huddersfield. Cracking goal from Emre Can to get them on the way. All right, slight defection, but still, he loves a banger for sure. And then Firmino squeezed in a delightful goal at the near post, between the goalie and the near post, to give Liverpool a 2-0 lead. Salah then made it 3 from the spot. Liverpool move up to 3rd, back on winning ways, and you can just see a bit of relief on Jurgen Klopp's face that they can put that nightmarish 2 weeks behind them now and carry on. But this weekend is going to be massive when they play Tottenham. And if Tottenham put in even half the performance they put in against United, it's going to be very tough for Liverpool, even if it is at Anfield. Moving down towards mid-table now, Everton and Leicester, 2 teams that are very close in the table, met at Goodison Park, and it was the Theo Walcott show in this game. Walcott showing why Everton paid £20 million for him. 2 goals, his first 2 goals for Everton. He was man of the match. Wonderful performance from him. And he does look like he brings Everton a completely new element and the speed that they would desired. They've let Aaron Lennon go. It is almost like a bit of an upgrade from Aaron Lennon. Obviously, Aaron Lennon's a much older player. But still, this was a really good performance from Theo Walcott. If he puts in performances like this consistently for the rest of the season, I don't see why he shouldn't go to the World Cup, because at least you know what you're going to get from Theo. Bit of speed, and say something happens to Sterling or someone else, at least there's that speed that you can bring into the team. And with Walcott, you know that you can get finishes from him as well. Don't forget, he scored 20 goals for Arsenal last season. That's pretty impressive. So yeah, good signing for Everton. Leicester pulled one back for Jamie Vardy. It was a tight game. Everton just edged it like I thought they would at Goodison. But yeah, I mean, I think the best thing from this game was that Seamus Coleman was playing again. And when you consider that he had such a bad leg break, it's just great to see him back on the pitch. But yeah, Leicester will be disappointed. That's the first 2 goals they've conceded in the Premier League in 2018. But they have a big game at home at the weekend, which I think they'll just edge. But we'll get onto that in my Premier League predictions video. Now, the other game in the middle of the table saw Burnley. They took on Newcastle. Obviously, Burnley more middle of the table. They just held on to 7th spot from Leicester, because obviously Leicester's defeat and picking up a point here. Newcastle will be disappointed they couldn't hold on for the win. But there are some positive signs. Kennedy looked really, really good for them. Obviously, he's their loan signing from Chelsea. And, him and Atsu down the wings, that could be pretty dangerous. They've got a lot of speed. They're quite skillful. And, Kennedy, he was very unlucky to not get on the score sheet last night. You do have to feel for Darlow, the Newcastle goalkeeper, because Burnley's goal was quite comical, hitting him in the face before going in. But yeah, I think Burnley will be happy with the draw, considering as well that Hosselu, his penalty was absolutely awful. But, decent a point when you consider Newcastle had them under a cosh for a fair bit, in my opinion. Then the other game that saw two very evenly matched teams, well, I suppose the next three games really were three games that just saw evenly matched teams face each other. You have West Ham and Palace, that ended 1-1. Christian Benteke giving Palace the lead with only his second Premier League goal of the season. Looked like it was going to be a massive 3 points for Palace, but West Ham levelled thanks to Mark Noble's penalty, his 50th goal for West Ham. And those two teams literally stay within touching distance of each other. So it's going to be interesting to see how over the next couple of weeks, whether or not there'll be a split or whether or not they're pretty much going to stay the way they are. Southampton and Brighton, two teams that are really struggling. They drew 1-1 for the second time this season. Not really a shock. The standard didn't look particularly great. I think in the end Brighton are going to be okay. It's Southampton I would worry about because it just doesn't seem like there's confidence in the manager, and I think it kind of shows in how they play. I know they got a win against Watford at the weekend, but you know they need to be winning home games like this if they're going to stay clear of that relegation zone. And I just wonder if they've got enough firepower to do that and the tactical awareness to do that under Pellegrino. So we'll have to see. And then the final game, Stoke versus Watford, two teams that are in very, having awful seasons really now. Ended 0-0 and it was absolutely boring, and that's pretty much everything I've got to say about that. But that pretty much summed up week 25 of the 2017-2018 Premier League season. Humiliations for United, Chelsea and Arsenal, and that's what this weekend will be remembered for. Tune in again tomorrow for my Premier League week 26 predictions. But please comment below, let me know what were your main talking points from this weekend. Do you agree with the things I've had to say? And how do you think these results will impact those teams moving forward over the next couple of weeks? As always, really interested to find out. I'm Aaron Whitnall. This has been ACW Sport. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys again soon.